We traveled to the port of Whittier, Alaska from Anchorage to start our Alaska cruise. We stopped and saw the sights along Cook Inlet and one of its narrow branches, Turnagain Arm. There were many stands of petrified trees that died during the 1964 earthquake when saltwater swept over the area. We made a stop at the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center where we saw bears, caribou, deer, bison, eagles, and a porcupine. There are waterfalls everywhere in Alaska. This narrow 2.5-mile tunnel was cut during World War II for military supplies from Whittier Port. Hubbard Glacier in Wrangell St. Elias National Park and Preserve was our first amazing sight on the cruise. The ship took us up through Yakutat Bay to Disenchantment Bay and the face of the glacier. Ships have to keep their distance because icebergs, or smaller pieces called growlers, can damage a cruise ship. A growler damaged the Norwegian Sun in 2022, and it had to be sent to Seattle for repair. Some people booked an excursion closer to the glacier in this smaller boat. We enjoyed the spectacular scenery. The third day of our cruise took us to Glacier Bay, a national park and UNESCO World Heritage Site. In 1750, Glacier Bay was completely full of ice after the Little Ice Age from 1300 to 1700. Marty found a perfect perch. We went to Glacier Bay through the Tar Inlet to Marjorie Glacier. No roads lead to Glacier Bay.
The top is nice and smooth. If you bend that brownie upward, the tracks will form.
The Grand Pacific Glacier, a giant valley full of ice, is to the right of Marjorie Glacier. That is Mount Fairweather behind the glacier. We saw the Lamplugh Glacier. We saw whales and sea otters along the way as we visited the glaciers. The fourth day of the cruise took us to Skagway, Alaska, a boom town in the Klondike Gold Rush, 1896 to 1899. Now it is a Gold Rush-themed tourist experience.
As one old miner said, there ain't no choice. One's hell, the other's damnation. For 9 months, 1,000 stampeders came every week.
We took a minibus tour to the White Pass Summit in Klondike Territory, Canada. The steamer left prospectors in Skagway, and they went north on foot through the White Pass Summit to Dawson City, Canada. We saw many waterfalls along the way. This old suspension bridge was built on an earthquake fault. This is the bleak Canadian summit on the longest day of the year, June 21st. Jefferson Soapy Smith, a con man who disrupted the town, and the mayor, Frank Reed, killed each other in a shootout. Both are buried in this historic cemetery overlooking the town of Skagway. It's a short hike from the cemetery to Reed Falls. Day 5 of the cruise, we met our tour guide RJ at the tram building for a 12-mile ride to Mendenhall Glacier through Juneau, the capital of Alaska. No roads connect Juneau to the rest of the state. Everything comes in by ship or plane. Tour guide RJ dropped us off at Mendenhall Glacier Visitors Center. Mendenhall Glacier has retreated over 1.5 miles since 1929 and formed Mendenhall Lake. Most of the Tongass National Forest is temperate rainforest. We took a 1-mile hike through the rainforest to Nugget Falls. The rock is scratched by the glaciers moving over them. Here are lupin flowers. On the 6th day of our Alaska cruise, we visited Ketchikan. The Tongass Historical Museum, Southeast Alaska Discovery Center, and the Salmon Creek Walk are all near the cruise dock. Our guide Thane took us through the small town, population 8,000, then to Eagle Beach. Bald eagles wait in the nearby trees for bits of fish left behind by fishermen. Ketchikan features commercial and sport fishing. Many locals have fishing boats. Thane fed the eagles and they put on a show for us. Mature bald eagles have a white head and tail feathers. Adolescents are bigger and all brown. Next, we went to Saxman Totem Park, started in the 1930s to preserve native Alaskan carvings. This community house is a beaver lodge. Tlingit artists perform inside for the tour groups. William Seward accepted gifts at a potlatch ceremony, but never returned the favor. This is the pole of shame. Abraham Lincoln was celebrated for ending slavery between Alaskan tribes who gave back captives and made peace. Master carvers work to repair or replace old totem poles. Life aboard the Coral Princess on our cruise from Anchorage to Vancouver in late June. Great views out our window. We spotted wildlife from the promenade deck, sea otters and whales. We had a convivial group at dinner. Celebrating the staff on the last night of the cruise. The first formal night of the Alaska cruise, a champagne waterfall in the ship's multi-story atrium. We met Captain Diego Pera from Italy.
Nearly 2 days.
The ship has an indoor and an outdoor pool and a great view of any port. Daytime lectures on the plants and animals and native culture of Alaska.
So humpback whales do like to...
Michelle.
The other people that the wildlife do in fact exist as long as they train their eyes.
The bear, which I don't recommend.
House can tell, but that's where my name comes. So I've...
Cruise Director Lloyd
Now,
kept
plenty
us
going on around the
informed.
ship this evening. Of course, the night is young.
Go on. The only reason why we're here is because we're doing community service. Yeah.
Nightlife. Big musical shows, comedians, singers, and musicians in 3 theaters.
What's the matter? These exact words.
The Secret Silk featured Jim Henson puppets.
You used your own feathers to make all that silk? Here inside my never falling down.
Classical piano with Tom Franek. A cooking demonstration by executive chef Jerry Diaz. A tour of the amazing kitchens. Texas Thai MCs the bartending exhibition. Professional dancers joined in the 80s dance party. Lloyd and Ishmael made sure the guests were entertained. A movie-themed game show with sketch comedy. Never a dull moment. The sun didn't set until around 11 p.m. It was a fun and interesting cruise.